Hi everyone, welcome back to recovery. I am now holding the recovery Q&A. So there were a lot of questions that were asked based on the video that was released about a month and a half ago, based on my own recovery. So I wanted to go ahead and answer some of those questions. There was about close to, I would say, about 30 questions that were asked. I picked out like the final 10 that actually made like kind of that put all those questions together. So I hope that it answers a lot of your questions, and I'm more than happy to answer anything. And no holds barred. I won't answer anything. So it's kind of scary. So here we go. How was it seeing yourself say what you did on the video? Well, it was extremely different. It was very scary. I didn't know at the end if I really wanted to go ahead and release it because it was like, oh gosh, everyone's gonna see this. What's gonna happen? You know, whoever's behind that computer, it is what it is. So um, it was scary seeing myself, and then it got better. I guess once I started getting the feedback, it kind of like, okay, maybe this was the right thing to do. So, so how was it seeing myself? Scary, definitely. Your siblings, how did they react? Really, really funny. My siblings didn't say anything. Um, those who I mentioned, I in the video, I didn't really get any reaction from them. Um, really, there was nothing. I mean, I wish I could tell you guys that they must have said something, but they didn't. Anything that if they did feel something, if they did see it and they felt it, um, they probably kept it to themselves. So I personally don't. They didn't share anything with me. So, um, but there wasn't anything negative, in it. And that's one thing I definitely did not want to do in the video. I did not want to put anyone in a negative light. I didn't want to incriminate them. So because there's nothing and no one to incriminate. In reality, this was about actions that were put on me, and I I had to deal with those actions. The cards that you're given, that's what you deal with. So my siblings didn't react to anything as far as I know. So how is your relationship with your mom now? Any improvements? There are no improvements. I can't really tell you guys that if there are any. I wish I could share with you guys, anything from that end, but no. Um, Ever since I cut the relationship myself. I'm the one that cut it last September, and at the time she didn't react positively. She didn't really get why until finally I started saying things, why it was time for us to kind of just drift and never communicate. Um, but pretty much my relationship with her is just non-existent. And any improvements on myself, yes. Um, the break, the breakup, should I say, it allowed me to actually think twice based upon the type of people that I want around and what I wish to have for me. So I definitely now do not put up with a lot of flakiness, with a lot of, I'm going through this, going through that, and it's all about me, 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 me. No more. So, on my behalf, the improvement was that I just don't put up with it anymore. And there have been some people that I've let go, and it's for the better. I think it really helped in that sense. So, hopefully. The JLo video story was funny. Any other funny stories like that? I never shared the JLo video story with anyone, and when I shared it, a lot of people. That's the one thing that really stuck in their heads was that video of how I needed to act a certain way to appease others. I don't know if there are any other I don't know if there are any other funny stories like that that I had to kind of show my brawn. Um, no, not really. I think that was the funniest one. Um, Not that I can think of, but definitely someone growing up in the late '90s, early 2000s. I really had to watch myself, and I definitely couldn't reveal myself as much as I wanted to. So, um, but I wish there was another story like that because it was a true story, not overreacted whatsoever. It was what it was. So I'm glad you guys like that one. When did you know enough was enough? Did your breaking point steer you on the right path? Um, I knew enough was enough when I started crying at the drop of a dime. It's not normal to cry like that, and I don't think it's normal to even say to yourself that. Um, to want to calm yourself down through that, and through any breaking point that you're having in life, whether it be early in your life, now, or whatever time frame that you're at. You know when enough is enough. At least for me, I knew enough was enough when I started crying. At any point, I couldn't smile genuinely. I really, really, really couldn't smile, and people would want to see me smile. They always say, "Oh, you have a beautiful smile," but I could not smile. This I could not do. I knew enough was enough, so I needed to kind of like change directions. Did your breaking point steer you on the right path? Yes, it did. My breaking point tore me down. Like I had levels and levels and levels, and it just one by one, it just kept breaking down. So it definitely, and I think because of all the levels were broken, nothing could really be pieced back together. I had to create new levels, and I had to be on a whole different tangent. So I can't look back at my breaking point and not say that I didn't do any good. It did me a lot of good in every direction and every which way. So God knows why things happen the way they do. So there's that one. How are you doing? Are you better because of what you released in the world? I'm doing a lot better, definitely. Recovery can really start with a lot. I mean, it really has it doesn't start until you actually do it on your own. And when you become your own person, when you start believing in yourself a little bit more, you start to see what works and what doesn't. And I know for myself, my recovery came at certain points. I mean, it came at 17, it came at 25, and then it came at 31. Yeah, 31. So uh, now I'm just dealing with what don't I want in my life anymore. Where before it was at 17, it was okay. None of this works, so let's just like scribble it all out and then we start new. At 25, I started to love myself fully. I started to embrace who I was and start to appreciate that. And then at 31, it's fine. I'm just like, I'm done. So, I'm doing a lot better, definitely. And also because of recovery, because of the project itself. Yeah, I am doing a lot better because of that, and also because I think people finally got they have an image of what I am now. I'm not just hair, makeup, and your guru and that. I'm a person. So I think finally that kind of like clicked in people's heads. So I'm doing a lot better. Thank you for asking. Are you mad at anything from the past? I get this question often. Am I mad at anything? No. To tell you the truth, I am not mad at anything. Things happen for a particular reason. They don't happen just because. I used to be mad when I was younger. I used to be a little bit resentful and angry. A little bit. um, I used to be resentful and angry based on how things would happen and certain people, what they would do to me. But I mean, I'm not the type of person to hold on to it anymore. I moved on. I began a journey of just moving on, really. And it takes step by step. It doesn't. You can't just take a leap. You can take a leap of faith. That's cool. But on my experience, when I took a leap of faith, I was ready because I had moved on already. I didn't just take a leap of faith and just, okay, let's see what happens. No, I took the necessary steps to make myself better, and to make sure that whatever happened in the past stayed there and it doesn't come up anymore. So, truthfully, I'm not mad at anything in the past. It all happened for a reason, and I was meant to go through with it. So now I was meant to go through it. So it is what it is. You said it's being human to recover. Is it human to hurt and want to recover? It is human nature to want to hurt one another because we want to feel good ourselves. Everyone's done it. And those who do it actually, I believe, have a bigger sense in life of wanting to. They want to get better themselves, but they don't. Simply for the fact because they don't know how to. No one's ever taught them. So for me, when it comes to recovery, it is human nature to want to hurt someone, and hopefully you get the opportunity to just recover from there. But if it doesn't, then you're in big trouble. But at the same time, it is in our human nature to want to get better in life. Whether you take that opportunity and you take it by the horn, take the bull by its horns, then that's up to you. And I've told people plenty of times and constant times, if you want to recover, that you're more than welcome to do so. That's all you. If you do not, then you also have a choice. Life is about choices, and I've learned that myself. So, but our human nature can take us. It takes us everywhere. So it all depends on you, what you want. And if you want to hurt others and not want to recover yourself, that's up to you. You do what you want with your life, and that's really what it all boils down to. So, my son just came out to me, and I watched your video a week prior to that. That was a sign, don't you think? Definitely. I've been doing hair and makeup for 14 years, and I can't tell you how many times I've had clients, male and female, come to me and tell me that their children have come out to them, and what do I think? And I'm like, well, ultimately it's what do you think, not me. So I very seldomly I have told them about my own experience about my mom, how she still doesn't know how to deal with it. So I told them, I said, it's always better for your child to want to come out to you. I hope that they do. I hope that they actually have the guts and they have the opportunity to do that, because it just tells you that they trust you as their parents. Flat out, I didn't trust my mom. I didn't come out to her till I was 20, and I didn't actually say the words until I was 20, and doing that even then was hard, extremely difficult. I knew in my head how she would react, and she reacted this in the same way that I knew that she would. How do I know this? She's my mom. I know her completely. So, for this person who wrote to me, yes, definitely it was a sign that you saw my video before your son came out to you. I hope that you actually showed him the video as well, because it'll help him, kind of get better, especially if he's going to come out to a lot of people. So, I'm glad that you watched that, and I'm glad that it helped. So, and I really do hope that it helped both of you. And I definitely hope that he didn't have any hurt, because he doesn't You need that. You know, you need all the love and support. So if you're gay, straight, anything, anything in life, you need that support. Are you in love now? He. No, seriously, there are one, two, three, four. Four he-he's. Four. Am I in love now? No, I am not. And if we're talking about the love interest, love of partnership, so on and so forth, no. Am I in love in other ways? Yes. So I don't know. I don't know what living without love would be like. I know how lonely things can be when you don't love yourself. And I know how lonely things can be when you don't trust yourself. Upon that, I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it took me as long as it did to want to get there. At the same time, I wish I would have gotten there a lot sooner. But again, things happen for a reason. I'm not gonna. If God gave me the opportunity to go back in time and like rewind it and tell myself, oh, snap out of it. Love yourself now. It's better this way. I wouldn't. I would just kind of stand there and watch myself go through the same thing I went through because it needed to happen the way it did. No ifs, ands, or buts. At the same time, knowing what I know now, I don't know what I don't know what it's like to have to live that life anymore. I wouldn't want to. It's the mind can get dark, the heart can get dark, your whole being can get really dark, and that's not a safe place to be. So, I thank God first and foremost for allowing me to have the love that I have for myself, for others, for those around me, and for the opportunity for me to do what I do with these hands. Because without that, I would be lost, really. So, am I in love? Romantically? No. But who knows? The future is still bright. The future is still out there, so I gotta go get it. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope that all this has answered a lot of your questions. If there are any other questions that you want me to answer, feel free to write and message me, inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the project so far. We have an up and coming guest who will also be sharing their recovery. So, and again, recovery can happen in any which way, shape, or form, as long as you get to that balance and as long as you finally get to where you need to be. That's what recovery is all about.